Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your WWE Elimination Chamber 2018 preview and predictions. Technically, we have 6 matches to talk about, 5 of which are going to be on the main show, 1 pre-show match that some of you might already know we will not be live reacting to, but still, we're going to predict it for the sake of being completionists. So, John, I'm going to run over the card real quick, and then I want you to tell me how you're feeling about it. Our pre-show match is going to be Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson, the Club, taking on the Miz Taraj, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. And then on the main show, we've got Bray Wyatt versus Woken Matt Hardy. The tag titles on the line, Cesaro and Sheamus, The Bar, defending against Titus Worldwide, Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil. We've got Asuka versus Nia Jax in a match where if Nia wins, she becomes a competitor for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. We've got the Women's Elimination Chamber that's featuring Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, Mickie James, Bayley, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville. And we've got the Men's Elimination Chamber featuring Roman Reigns, John Cena, Seth Rollins, Elias, The Miz, Braun Strowman, and Finn Balor. John, how you feeling, brother?
You know, I'm conflicted on this card, dude, and it's very rare that I have the kind of conflict that I'm going to present here, because on one hand, like there are a few matches that I just do not give a shit about, like in a way, especially given how I feel like they're going to go. Nia Jax Asuka is the one that gets really all of my hate right off the bat. I'll tell you that right now. Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt, honestly do not care. Pre-show, we never really care about the pre-show. No reason to start now. Honestly, Cesaro versus Titus Worldwide actually does have some teeth to it. I'm not going to hate on that completely, and I may even like make a little bit of a weird prediction on that one, but that remains to be seen. Men's Chamber should be excellent and another star-making performance for the likes of, Rollins and Balor, but I feel like that's predictable and not in a way that's, serviceable to what we all want. And yeah, like I don't know. Like I feel like there could be some good stuff on this show, but I'm really just left in a position of not caring, honestly, when I really look at it and what I think the scheme, at least in their mind, for WrestleMania is going to be. So to do the hype score, just to really put a number on it, I'd say I'm coming in at about like a 3 out of 10, if I'm honest. It's really low. But I'm more curious how you're feeling about it.
See, and I think that I've done a good enough job of convincing myself that they won't screw everything up, that I'm allowing myself to get invested, which is just going to mean that I'm going to be that much more miserable when they fuck it all up.
Right. So I guess, what are you saying, that your hype is like higher than mine?
Yeah, I'm at like a 6.5, maybe even a 7 for this. Wow.
See, I feel like that's normally my role. But yeah, I'm just looking at this and I'm like, God, I really just do not give a shit, if I'm truthful. And like, I don't want to be that way. But, like it's just where we're at. So if you want to just get into this,
it's definitely unfortunate that you're in a place where you're that just not looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's just, because I've been over it on past preview predictions, but I'll make some reiterations again, just to really show where my upset lies. So I guess let's just get into this card. So the pre-show, like you said, is the Club, Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson versus Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. I'm just going to say, personally, I feel like the Club's got this. I think Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson are going to go over. I see no reason why Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas would go over here, because I feel like their only function has been to be an extension of Miz's character and not have their own fully realized identities alongside the Miz. So because the Miz really has no skin in the game in this match, so to speak, I just think the Club's going to win. So that's my prediction.
All right. Wait. You started with the Club?
Well, yeah, because that's the pre-show match.
Oh, the pre-show. Yeah, God, my mind is scattered right now. I apologize. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah, the Club, don't get me wrong, it would be interesting if they did something with the Miz Taraj, but they won't. So yeah, the Club's winning. Let's just move on. Pre-show match is kind of whatever anyway. I did my best to try and list the matches on the main card in order from least to most important. So let's start off with the match that has literally no WrestleMania implications whatsoever. Bray Wyatt versus Woken Matt Hardy.
Yeah, again, just like, I felt like this feud had a chance to be really interesting, but then again, maybe that was me predicting. Bray really hasn't been credible in the longest time. I was happier for Matt, right? Because like, and it's really nothing against him. Like, he puts his back into this. He apparently has full creative control, and it shows. It's just, I feel like the machine, like, if they really don't care about you, they're not going to give you that momentum that I think, you know, you need. And I feel like for me, it's gotten a bit played out already. That said, though, I do see Matt going over here, and maybe it can see some rejuvenation working with other acts, because I just feel like the stuff with Bray already feels a bit exhausted. Maybe that's just me. I don't know how our chat feels about it at all, but I'm going to give Matt the win only because Bray did win at Raw 25. I don't think Matt's explicitly gotten his win back. You know, they've kind of screwed each other out of opportunities ever since. So I think Matt's going to get the big win against Bray at a pay-per-view, and then they can move on from each other, hopefully. So I'm going to go with broken Matt Hardy here.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. I think the eater of pins is going to do what he does best and eat that pin. So, you know, I wish I could add more, but like I said, there are no WrestleMania implications here, and I don't really have any reason to care about this match. So this is just going to be like kind of the piss break of the show to me.
Yeah, completely agree with you. Let's move on.
All right, now we get into some stuff that actually has some stakes and could potentially actually be interesting. Cesaro and Sheamus, the Bar, defending their tag titles against Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil. I'm really curious because I kind of do have a little bit of a gut feeling that they're going to pull the trigger on Titus worldwide. But if I just stick with like the smart bet, I have to just say like Cesaro and Sheamus are going to retain.
Yeah, you know, it's funny for me too, because I mean, the real story, which actually has been going on for a little bit, to WWE's credit, is that, you know, Titus and Apollo, I feel like they got 2 non-title wins against these guys, and that's before they were even champions, I feel like, because Seth and Jason were champions. And then when they regained the titles, you know, Titus and Apollo, they were like the number 1 contenders. Well, we've beaten you guys twice, and now that you're the champions, I feel like that makes us the de facto number 1 contenders. And they lost that match. But then I think they did something on like the YouTube channel where it's like, oh, they called them out or whatever, and they did it on other social media, and now we're here. Here's my thing. Here's the prediction I'm going to make, and it's probably going to be wrong. I'm going to go with Tyson and Apollo, but I think that's only so they can either be transitional champions, either A, back to Sheamus and Cesaro, because maybe WWE wants to make them seem even more impressive, like, oh, 5-time tag team champions together, or whatever number reign this would be for them. Or what I'm thinking is even more likely, transitional champions for the Revival to finally get the belts and kind of go on their run, so that they can go into potentially a club feud for Mania. So yeah, I'm actually going to go with Titus and Apollo, but I only see them holding on to it a month or even less before the Revival finally get their title run, and then their big program will be with the club. So that's going to be my prediction.
You know, I love the idea of the Revival getting the titles, but I think that it's almost more likely that we would get Cesaro and Sheamus defending against the Revival at Mania than doing the transition using Apollo and Titus. So I'm just going to stick with the smart money, and I'm going to pick Cesaro and Sheamus to retain.
Cannot blame you at all for that, bro. I mean, I don't even mean this to be like a ridiculous, like, John prediction, and I hope you know that. It's just like...
No, and it really isn't, because like I said, like, there's something in my gut telling me that there's definitely a chance that it could happen.
Yeah, I feel like they wouldn't even be in this position again, right? If they weren't serious about them being like, okay, we're going to do this, but it's only going to be for this limited time, because again, like, the Revival is our focus. Because I do think they want to visit Revival and Club, but they want to up the stakes this time so it feels newer, so you get the tag titles in the mix, and I feel like that's where Apollo and Titus come in. And yeah, and plus, I mean, Apollo has been getting a little bit more shine lately. Like, he hasn't won, but he's had like better performances against The Miz for that Chamber qualifier, and then the Last Chance Fatal 4-Way. So I feel like they're kind of building them up in a weird way to finally get that proverbial demon off their back and winning the tag titles. So yeah, I'm going to stick with it, but I don't blame you at all for going with the, as you say, the smart money. So we'll see how that plays out. What's our next matchup?
What I was actually getting ready to say, though, was that I feel like that's a big difference between the two of us, because when you kind of come to a conclusion where it's like, I know this is the logical choice, but I have a gut feeling, you always go with your gut feeling. And here I am saying the exact same thing and going with the logical choice. So
yeah, I can't blame you at all there, though.
That difference between our thought processes, I think that's actually like a really good kind of descriptor of the difference between us, the way we think and everything.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Anyway, So then we have our singles match between the women, Asuka versus Nia Jax. If Nia does win, she will be in Raw Women's Championship contention. She'll be added to the Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania. And I know that you think that Asuka is jumping ship over to SmackDown, but I don't. So I'm really curious who you think is going to win. Do you think they're going to blow Asuka's big streak on Nia on this show?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Even though I feel like Asuka is jumping ship, they're just going to find another way to crowbar Nia into the Raw Women's Championship match, which we'll get into that bigger picture later. I'm going to go through this very quickly because I don't want to spend too much time like ranting when I know we have actual predictions and more substantive discussions to have. I fucking hate the idea of this match. I hated it ever since it was announced. I hate this idea that we've seen Asuka beat Nia Jax twice or three times because I know she's beaten her twice in NXT.
Yeah.
And on Raw, I feel like she did beat her that one time. And if not beat her, I know that she like put her on the shelf, like she took her out kayfabe wise. So this idea like Nia Jax is the biggest threat to the streak, it's such bullshit. It's kind of like, I mean, not nearly as bad to me, but it's kind of like at, I want to say WrestleMania. Yeah, it was WrestleMania 27 when Triple H faced The Undertaker. No, all I have left is to end the streak when you already got your chance at 17. And then, he got the chance again at 28, right? It's like, don't act like we don't know. Don't act like we're stupid, but you're going to continue to because that's kind of your company philosophy in that sense. Asuka's going to win. Nia's a nobody to me. I don't care. Like, you're just big. Like, it's kind of the same conversation we've had about, like, the people like Piper, now Viper, in the NXT system and stuff like that. Just because you're big doesn't equate to intimidating. Like, I don't know, man. I just really don't see what the big fucking deal is. I can't get into this. I'm far more interested in the idea of Asuka versus heel Sasha, but I don't even think that's going to happen. And that. Like, I know that's where you and I differ, but that doesn't mean that I don't prefer it. Like, I love your thought process infinitely more than my own. But yeah, I just think Asuka's going to win. It's just going to be another victory for her. And I really just don't even get why this match is happening. I think it's a fucking waste. And yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think you and I both have a big gripe with the fact that they're pushing Nia as this like big deal after she literally walked out on the company because she was angry about not being pushed. Like, you're basically looking at a child throwing a tantrum in a grocery store, begging you to buy them a candy. And you're just saying, okay, fine, put it in the car. Like, that's the worst thing you could possibly do. And because of the relation to The Rock, of course, the WWE is giving her exactly what she wants, even if she doesn't win, which I don't think she will. But I do want to really emphasize that I would not be surprised if Nia won, because that is just the most WWE kind of fuck up that I can imagine them doing.
I mean, can I just say something here? And it may not even be the smartest thing to say, given who I'm about to talk about, because it's like, really, John, that's the example you're going to go with. But like, I heard last night, like after you and I got off, I stayed up just a little bit, and I heard this heartbreaking interview. Not the whole thing, because I was way too tired, but I heard one excerpt from an interview that Alicia Fox did on Lillian Garcia's podcast. And like, if you could just hear the sadness and the disappointment when she thinks about her career. And she's like, I'm 30. I'm not being pushed. She was candid, and she's still under contract. I was amazed how candid she was. And she essentially said, like, I'm not being pushed. And it's like, I want to be a mom. I want to have a life. And I feel like I'm doing nothing here. And there are days that I have dreams. Like, I think this is almost quoting her verbatim. She said, there are times I have dreams where I'm happier when I've left WWE because I'm able to have a life. And I'm like, Alicia's not the most talented person, but I think she's shit tons more talented than Nia Jax. Even on the character front, I'm more entertained by Alicia Fox if you give her something worthwhile to work with than I've ever been by Nia Jax. And here's a woman having a fucking existential crisis. Like, what have I done with my life? What even is happiness for me? Because it's not here. And yet, this whiny little bitch, and I'm not in the fucking mood. Like, I'm really not looking forward to this show. I feel like WWE is shitting over a lot of great routes they could take. But it's like, no, I need to be treated with more respect. Why? Because you're a bigger woman? Like, come the fuck on now, right? It's so fun. Or
here's some advice: if you want to be taken seriously, get good.
Yeah, well, that's just it. get fucking good and stop fucking complaining. Because Alicia even said, like, when she won the Divas Championship, she said she was 24 at the time. She couldn't appreciate it then. She said she'd love a title right now. And, you know, it kind of bothers her that she wasn't able to appreciate that. Like, there is somebody, honestly, that is fucking sincere and thoughtful when thinking about their career. And I was just like, no, just give me everything. And it's like, fuck you. Just honestly, fuck you. I'm over it. I don't get it. And you're right. The idea that WWE would capitulate to this shit and say, oh, but of course, Nia, we'll give you all this, but for fucking what? When we're waiting for when we're waiting for even more talented acts in NXT like Iconic Duo and others to get called up and even be given half the opportunities that this bitch has been given. It's mind-boggling to me, you know? And like, no, it's not even me trying to like make fun of her for a way, because I know there was some controversy with like some other YouTubers like, you know, doing all that. No, but like, you're just not talented with it. Awesome Kong was insanely talented. I wish I could think of other people besides Kong. Oh, well, Aja Kong, you know, very talented. You're not talented. Get over yourself. So yeah, that's really what I want to say about it, because I agree with you. I think WWE giving into this when it's like really you're giving into this, and yet I just had to hear Alicia Fox pretty much say that she has dreams where she's happier leaving your company. For fuck's sake. That's all I gotta say, man. I don't really have anything else to add.
No, I appreciate how eloquent you were about it, though. I definitely can. I appreciate that you also took the time to really address it and not just be like, oh, fuck that fat bitch, or be like, really, like, you know, you really did. Like, you talked about exactly what you were feeling, and it made a lot of sense. And I agree with pretty much every word you said. So
I guess we can move on, because we both agree again, right? Just to kind of put a fine point on it.
Oh, yeah, I have to pick Asuka, because until my prediction of what's going to happen at WrestleMania that gets proven impossible, I'm sticking to my guns.
There you go, man. I couldn't have said it better. Let's move on.
All right, next up, here we go. Women's Elimination Chamber. Do we want to go, like, see if we can predict, like, the order that they're going to enter and get eliminated, or do we just want to pick the winner?
We could do order and elimination if you want to, since this is the first chamber match of 2 that we're going to be talking about, so.
All right, so, I mean, I'll just list off the competitors just in case it's, you know, it's, like, kind of hazy for you. We've got Alexa Bliss going in as the champion defending. I'm guessing she'll come out last. Bayley, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville, Mickie James, and Sasha Banks.
Yeah, that's, you know what? I'm going to go. Okay. Can you actually type out your order for me in the chat so I can see it? Like visualize it?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. Let me just do a copy paste job from the Wikipedia page.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking they're probably going to want to see. I'd love to just get Mandy in there early in the hopes that she'd be eliminated early, but they may want to do with this match that they don't get an elimination until all 6 women are in it. And see, I can't say for sure or not if they'd want to do that, because I definitely think they'd want to play the angle of Absolution working together. So, like, they're going to want to both be together for that story to be right, because that's the big threat everybody's talking about, right? Like, oh, what if Absolution works together? You know that's been a bang angle, so much so that Alexa's been trying to butter up to Mickie James. So I'll say, you know what? I'll say Bayley and Sasha to start. Then Sonya. Then Mandy, then Mickie, then Alexa. I think Alexa will like come out last as the heel. So,
right, yeah, we agree with that. I think it might, I would have to look into it just to really ensure that I'm not just, you know, making things up because I have a hazy memory, but I feel like it's common for heel champions to come out last in the chamber.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Who do you think is going to win? Because now we're here, all the deliberations and stuff. Now we've got to commit to something. So where are you at with this?
Well, I didn't actually get an opportunity to list my order yet.
Oh, I thought you. Oh, right, because you said the wiki, so you never really gave an order. You gave like kind of what Wikipedia had listed. Okay, so right. Who is your order then?
I think we're going to start things off with Sasha Banks and Mickie James.
Okay, so Sasha and Mickie for you.
And then I am guessing Bayley will be the next person out. So we're basically going to just have 3 faces in the ring, but I think Sasha is going to kind of heal it up. She won't be like full blown boss level heel, but she'll do like this, the open hand slap to Mickey, and she'll do the double knee, like stuff that we got used to her doing before she went full blown face at Rumble a couple of years ago, right?
Right. Okay.
And then I think that she and Bayley and Mickey are going to go for a little bit, but I think Mickey is going to end up getting eliminated first. I have Mickey James being the first person eliminated, because then you get that reaction face from Alexa, because she will probably spend most of the time like trying to butter up to Mickey. She's already been doing that this whole time. So when Mickey gets eliminated, Alexa feels like, holy shit, that was my lifeline. Like, that's it. I can't win now. Or I guess it's not going to be as easy for her to win now. So that's like a reaction face that I think WWE would want to take advantage of. And then I think we're going to have Mandy Rose come out, and I think Sasha and Bayley are going to double team her and eliminate her. Then Sonya comes out, but she doesn't get eliminated as quickly as Mandy. Sonya lasts long enough for Alexa to also come out, and then we get an Alexa Sonya versus Sasha and Bayley kind of team up moment where one, like maybe Sonya is going after Sasha, Mickey or Alexa is going after Bayley. Maybe Bayley actually gets that rub where she manages to eliminate Mandy or Alexa Bliss, and we get the like, holy shit, one of these women's going to be the new women's champion. And then Sasha and Bayley again managed to eliminate Sonya together. And then I think I'm picking Sasha to win. I think this should have been obvious to anyone, at least in the Discord, because I've been saying for weeks now that I have Sasha going into to WrestleMania as the champion, Asuka challenger. Sasha cheats to beat Asuka, get her first ever title retention on the main roster by cheating, turning heel in the process, and costing Asuka her streak. So yes, I think that Sasha's going to win. That's my order of entrances and eliminations. And I am like, this is the match that like this match, my mood for the remainder of the night is going to hinge on the way that this match is booked and who wins it.
Oh, that's a lot of eggs to put in that basket, brother.
I know, dude. I know. I'm telling you, like, I'm regretting doing it, but I have so much invested in Sasha winning this match. I will be so downtrodden and depressed and angry and just beyond reproach if Alexa retains or anyone else other than maybe Bayley wins the title here.
You know what? I'm not even going to be that guy that's like, well, get ready to be disappointed. Like, I'm rooting for you because, like, I do think that booking's amazing. I think it would be the best thing for the Raw Women's Championship scene. But, you know, in all honesty, I don't think it's going to happen.
Like, to me, the worst case scenario is literally what was reported. It's that Nia beats Asuka. Asuka says, oh, well, if I can't have a singles match for the title, I'm not going to be here for the title. I'm going to SmackDown, challenges Charlotte, and then we get Alexa versus Nia. That is worst case scenario in my eyes.
Yeah, and see, like, for me, I feel like WWE is going to have its cake and eat it too, because you already know that I feel like Asuka is winning, but I feel like she isn't going to want to screw around because for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe even the Ronda Rousey contract signing may influence how Asuka, like where she goes. Because I know the contract signing is also happening on this show. But I think she's going to go to SmackDown. You guys already know the story. I feel like, I don't know if Asuka would be going in enough time to be on the Fastlane card. But if she is, I could see her facing Becky Lynch at Fastlane because I feel like Asuka's story is she's running through the 4 horsewomen because she's already beaten Bayley and Sasha on Raw. Then it just leaves Becky and Charlotte on SmackDown. That's been my theory. And yeah, then she, of course, obviously she triumphs over Charlotte at Mania. As far as order of elimination, I do think they're going to do the whole angle where Mandy and Sonya work together, though I love your idea of kind of subverting that, and the real alliance was Sonya and Alexa, you know, battling Bayley and Sasha. But I do think Mandy and Sonya, because the whole idea has been, oh, Absolution may be the biggest threat in the chamber because with Paige's tutelage and all that other crap. So I'm actually going to go out there and say that all 6 women are going to be releasing their pods. Well, all 4, really, because 2 start the match before we see any eliminations. I agree with you about Mickey being eliminated first. Then you know what? Because Bayley's been booked terribly. Like, it's starting to be rehabilitated a bit, but I could even see her going next. Then Mandy. Then Sonya. And then I think Alexa's going to beat Sasha, and Alexa's going to retain. I hate it, but again, like, I'm very cynical about this show, and I'm not even going to bother to hide it. I'm not even going to bother to be hopeful. This isn't going to be one of those John goes out on a limb kind of things, like, because I could just see WWE.
No, you're leaving that to me.
Yeah, it's really weird that you've kind of taken up that man. I mean, I'm proud of you for it, and I love your booking for it, but like, you even kind of made my case in a weird way when we were talking about the Nia Asuka matchup. The idea that Nia's even in this position shows that WWE is capitulating to her bratty, whiny attitude. And I think that she's going to ride that all the way to WrestleMania and finally getting the Women's Championship, which I will not give one iota of a fuck about. So, yeah. Alexa Bliss wins. And then we do Nia Alexa at Mania. And then Asuka's like, well, wasn't even going to be there anyway, so peace. And she goes and she faces Charlotte at Mania. So that's my prediction for that.
God, how depressing is that, though?
I mean, it's depressing, but I feel like it has a very good chance of coming true because look at who we're talking about here. So
that's what makes it depressing, though, is how incredibly realistic it is.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, again, I'm pulling for you, brother. Like, it's not that I want this to happen, and it's not like, you know, I'm not like Dominique Adams wanting to drink all those tears, but, you know, it's just like I've got no reason to be hopeful when so many promising prospects on both sides, you know, the men's division and the women's, are really going to get shit on in this pay-per-view, and we're just going to have to sit there and watch it with horror, knowing that there's nothing we can do. So, in that spirit, let's move on to the men's chamber, unless you have anything else you want to say about the women's.
No, I already told you, man. I'm hinging way too much of my personal happiness on this match.
I will be here for you if it does not work out. If it does work out, then holy shit, that'll be the reaction of live reactions. But if it doesn't work out, I will be here for you. No fail bombs, no scumbag, because I know, man. I am feeling very empathetic right now with how fucking dour I am feeling about this show. So I hear you, man. I do.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I guess we really should get on to the men's chamber match, which again is kind of crazy. But the thing is, even though this one's crazy, this one has the added twist of we're starting the match with 3 guys and not just 2.
Yeah, because it's the first ever 7-man elimination chamber. Because
do you want me to copy and paste the list of competitors for this one too?
No, because it's Miz, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor. That's 5 I listed.
Cena,
John Cena, and Elias.
Yep,
got it. All right. And we know Miz is coming out first. We know
for a fact that the Miz is entering first and Elias is entering last.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, no, it's not an agreement thing. They had matches for it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. No, I'm sorry. I was actually reading chat. I got kind of loud. But yeah, I mean, that is established. Elias coming out last, Miz coming out first.
Oh, yeah, okay. And?
Yeah, well, no, I was just waiting for you to continue. Because yeah, you were kind of talking. You're going through the match. So
well, no, I just wanted to establish that as like a baseline, so we remember and we acknowledge that. Yeah, that's a thing.
No, well, so do you want me to kind of go first and give like who I think is like? All right. Miz coming out first. So I think Seth is going to be also starting the match because I think they're going to want to do the whole Seth Rollins is built to last kind of Iron Man thing again. And you know what? I'm going to say Cena's going to be the other guy, which really kind of sucks because he beat Miz to avoid coming out first, and I feel like it's going to be inconsequential. Anyway, but so then that's 3 right there. Then I see Braun Strowman coming out next for 4. Then Finn for 5. Roman for 6. And then, of course, Elias last. As far as eliminations go, I actually see Elias getting eliminated first. Cena getting eliminated second.
You think everybody is going to be in the ring before anyone gets eliminated with this one too?
Yeah. I feel like it's been a trend in Elimination Chamber for the last few years. But I can't even remember like the last one if that was also true. But, you know, I definitely feel like for the men's, they're going to want to get everybody in there. But I feel like, yeah, Elias is going to get eliminated first. I'll say Cena second because I think it was Dominique Adams said that Cena was going to get eliminated first for the upset. Yeah, it was. But I think that'll be second. Miz will be third. Balor will be fourth. Rollins will be fifth. And then it'll come down to Reigns and Strowman. And while it should be Strowman to win because it should be his fucking WrestleMania story and his main event with Brock, Roman Reigns is going to beat Strowman for the final elimination. And we get Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship.
Yeah.
It's a fucking crock. I hate everything about it. I loathe it, actually. And it doesn't make a damn bit of difference because it's still happening. So what is your order of entry and eliminations? Because I want
to do two of these little exercises because I have one that's like pure comedy based, and then I have another one that's my actual prediction. All right.
Fair enough. Have at it.
So the comedy prediction, the one that I think that if they wanted to just make people enjoy their time and really be entertained, you would start with The Miz, John Cena, and Roman Reigns, because the Miz's reaction to being in the ring with those two guys. I mean, the great thing is he could start being like overly confident, like he can even talk trash to Seth Rollins, like, you beat them in 2 matches, I'm gonna beat them in 1, that kind of thing. But then as we get going, like 2-3 minutes in, he's just like, oh my, like maybe like he goes after one of them and like maybe Roman hits him with like the 2 jumping lariats and then the Superman punch. And then maybe Cena does the 2 shoulder blocks and the 5-knuckle shuffle. And maybe they even eliminate him before the first person comes out. Because to me, that's how WWE treats The Miz sometimes, is kind of as like this overly arrogant joke of a wrestler.
Right.
That could definitely be a possibility. So then after that, our next guy to come out is Seth. And he does go with Cena and Reigns. And he does not get eliminated, because then after they are all like going for 5 minutes, we get Finn Balor coming out. So Finn Balor is in there, and we get all 4 of these guys, and I'm sure this would be a great interaction because it's Cena, Reigns, Balor, and Rollins. And then out comes Strowman, and Strowman destroys everyone. Strowman eliminates Balor and Cena, so it's just Strowman, Reigns, and Rollins left. And Strowman doesn't eliminate them, but he does manage to get them both just obliterated and out and down. And then he's posing in the middle of the ring when the timer starts for Elias.
Yeah, and then I'm sure Elias, right, is probably panicked because Braun has just laid waste.
Yeah, Elias, his buzzer goes off and his door opens, but he just closes it right back up. And he might even have a mic in there, and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I've been waiting to have my entrance in order to do this, but since there's a gigantic monster in the middle of the ring, I think I'll do it from the safety of my pod. This one is for you." And he does a song while Braun is like trying to pound into the pod. Eventually, Braun breaks into the pod, does the running power slam to Elias to eliminate him, and then it comes down to the final 3: Seth, Roman, Braun. Seth and Roman double team Braun, find a way to get him pinned. Maybe they do the double power bomb with, Roman doing the power bomb and getting the pin on Braun. And then we get Roman and Seth. Roman gets his win back from Monday night.
Yeah. That actually sounds pretty realistic to me. But you said that was only like your first exercise. So what? You know what?
I was even just thinking, like, I was planning on that being really just only comedy based, but that ended up being really good. I kind of want to just go with that.
Let me ask you something, because I know I thought I heard maybe 1 or 2 personalities speculate about this, or maybe you even speculate about it. And if so, please tell me, because I don't want to wrongly attribute your idea to somebody else. Would Elias be doing a concert the entire time in his pod? Because I feel like
he only starts doing the concert when his buzzer goes off for him to enter the ring. So it's towards the end of the match.
Okay.
Like he's in there, and maybe he has his guitar in a stool and like he's playing it, but we can't hear it. And then when his buzzer goes off, he reaches out and grabs a mic from one of like the ringside officials or a ref or something, and he brings it in and he says, "I was planning on getting in the middle of the ring and celebrating my victory tonight with a song, but because the only guy left in there right now is, I don't know what he would call Braun, maybe the abomination in the middle of the ring, I think I'm going to do it from the safety of this cell," or from the safety of the pod. And he starts singing, he starts doing the concert. Meanwhile, Braun is staring him down. Once Braun breaks through, maybe he tries to swing the guitar at Braun to get that like big time, like, oh my God, I'm going to take down the monster with this extra weapon that's legal. And Braun just like throttles him by the throat and then gets him into the power slam and beats him.
Yeah, I actually really like that. That's pretty cool to me. So
yeah, I was planning on having another one where I took it a lot more seriously, but my fun one ended up being like the best one that I could think of.
Yeah, I actually really like that order. It's just a shame because, again, you and I both agree that Reigns is gonna ultimately triumph in this chamber.
I mean, yeah, that's the writing has been on the wall. If maybe here is my shred of hope. If the WWE knows more than we or the general public do about the Roman Reigns, Richard Rodriguez trial that's going to be going on, and they feel like there's a chance that Roman Reigns could get hit with some legitimately like big time charges, and they don't want to rely on him being like the guy because of that, the way that they were with Randy Orton when he failed his second wellness policy, I think that it will be Seth. I think he is like the ultimate sort of backup. And that's also why I kind of had it come down to Seth and Roman, because at that point you can just pick and choose. And even though I know you and I would both be 150% behind Seth, I do think it's more likely that Roman will win.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, dude. Like, it's probably going to be like a Sonata Okada situation where whether it's Seth or whether it's Strowman. And by the way, like, I love Seth to death, but even before fandom, I am a big believer in people getting what they deserve. And Braun deserves the WrestleMania main event this year for the work that he's put in. But whether it's Braun or whether it's Seth, I know that they're going to suck me in because they do every time. And it's just going to be disappointment the same way it is every time. So, you know, it's really left me feeling a certain way because, you know, the Raw side of Mania is really looking blah, which is odd because, I mean, I do think in some ways, you know, to your point, that the Raw writing has been better than the SmackDown writing. But it's just to a point where I know we're going to have this Roman Reigns title reign eventually. Dude, I even read a report today. And I honestly, I don't even know how much like stock to put in them. You know, I always say a grain of salt, and that's true. But then knowing also it's WWE, you're always kind of scared because it's like, well, that does seem like their rationale and their thought process. That, I mean, a Seth Roman feud was an idea that they had on the table for Roman's title reign. And they were either thinking of turning Seth heel again after the fucking performance that he had, right, in that gauntlet match, or they would switch him to SmackDown Live and get a SmackDown Live star to feud with Roman instead in like a trade. Now, that I would actually hope would happen because you know how long I've wanted Seth on SmackDown Live. But either way, it just shows you that, like, the Roman Reigns era is inevitable. Hell, a lot of people would argue that we're already living in the midst of it. I'm just saying as far as championship reigns go, like, it's inevitable. So, yeah, whether it's Seth, whether it's Strowman, they're going to suck me in. Reigns is going to win, though, and that's what really makes it inconsequential. And then he's going to go and he's going to beat Brock Lesnar, maybe even in a rematch, because I could see them enacting a contract extension on Brock. And then, you know, he's really going to get his title reign underway. And then God knows the ridiculous fucking shit that they'll do just to keep Roman Reigns as their perceived kind of baby face, while everybody else all of a sudden just becomes corruptible because it's Roman Reigns. So, yeah, I'm not feeling it at all. I'd say my hype level after discussing this whole card with you is about the same. Didn't really even move the needle because, you know, it's just really not looking good. However, I will say this. If the things that you've predicted, like, you know, Sasha going over and stuff like that happens, because the male main event seems set in stone, you know, Roman Lesnar, nothing you could really do about that. But if at least you do Sasha and you have her be heel, you know, working with Asuka, that could put a smile on my face on the Raw side, and that would make me be at least a bit forgiving about this show.
I set myself up for so much disappointment just now. Like,
and you see that I've kept myself not even set up for disappointment because I'm displaying the disappointment early.
Like you're already disappointed. You're precognitive disappointed.
I am at the lowest conceivable fucking ebb for this show. So like, all you could do, WWE, is impress me. Like, I'm serving you the ball, and I'm not even getting in your way so that you can score the touchdown. And
it's going to be either like a situation where it's like, wow, WWE, you really did it. Or it's going to be, I expected nothing and still I'm disappointed.
Well, yeah, and I'm expecting the latter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my Elimination Chamber preview and predictions. For any of you that came into this feeling happy about life or your prospects, how fucking dare you?
Dude, but think about it this way, though. If either Sasha or Seth wins, how happy are either one of us going to be, or both?
Oh, well, I would even say, because I know we keep saying Seth, but if either Sasha, Seth, or Braun win, hell, or Finn, because I feel like Finn deserves a second rematch. Or Elias, like, yeah, if either of those four guys win, or if Sasha wins, I mean, fuck, I will be like the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view of the year, you know, like I will love it.
So basically, if anyone in the men's chamber other than Roman or Cena wins.
Well, I mean, because here's the thing too, like I love The Miz, but him versus Lesnar would be way too awkward, so he's out.
I mean, there is still at least more of an interesting story there than there would be with Roman because of The Miz using his like cheaty tactics and finding a way to win.
That is true. And
because The Miz really sold me on that too on Monday night. He was like, everyone else thinks that they're just going to beat the guy that's better than them at the thing that they're trying to beat him at doing. I wouldn't do that. I'm not going to go at Brock Lesnar straight on. I'm not stupid. I'm going to find a way to win. It's not going to be what you think, but it's going to be smart.
And you know, I would love the story too, because even though Miz is kind of a heelish personality, like that shoot promo that he cut on Bryan, where he's like, "I'm here every day, I show up." He should cut a similar promo on Brock, because, like, yeah, Miz wasn't liked at first because he ate chicken over somebody's bag and he was kind of a douche.
That was over Orton too, wasn't it?
I think it was, but like. Brock straight up left, and Miz paid for his sins, and he earned his way. Like, if I'm Miz, I'm using that shit. Like, I'm tougher than you, Brock, because when you couldn't travel anymore, you just upped and left. But I, like, wasn't even a part of the Brotherhood, and I still stuck around. So, like, you know, I do feel like they could tell an interesting story. Elias, I mean, if nothing else, Elias and Brock, to me, would have that Bob Backlund Diesel kind of quality, except a shit ton more entertaining. Like, it would be a squash match, probably only like 30 seconds, believably. But Elias would make it the most entertaining fucking shit. But Roman be like, I had you beat, bro. No, you fucking didn't. You didn't do shit. And then, by the way, Ashton, to substantiate your case, because I saw you tweet about that, somebody else mentioned on a No DQ article I read that, like, apparently, and I remember this too, Brock pinned Roman at SummerSlam in that fatal four-way. So, like, don't act like you've taken Lesnar to the limit when he's really handed you your ass not once but twice. I don't know, man. It's some bullshit, but it is what it fucking is. I'm not looking forward to this show at all. I'm sorry, guys. I normally like to be uplifting and give you guys some hope, but here's the hope that you can hang on to. That whether it is a fucking miserable shitstorm or this pay-per-view manages to surprise us, you know that live reactions is always worth tuning into. And I hope all of you guys join us there. I know Brandon even openly said that he's debating whether to watch it or not. Well, Brandon, even if you don't watch it, you can always listen to our live reactions because we'll always tell you what's happening, and we'll tell you in a far more interesting way than Michael Cole's fucking ass. So I hope to see all you guys there.
We do, by the way, we did just get a $2 super chat from Iconic Player One. He said anyone but the Samoans. So anyone but Roman and anyone but Nia.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm honestly right fucking there with you, man. I'm right there. So actually, I'm gonna hand it to you.
Really, it comes down to anyone but those benefiting from nepotism.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's God. I want to be into this show, and I want them to make good decisions, even if they don't make all the best decisions. But they're making it really hard.
They are, man. I mean, that's why I'm not giving them any rope to hang me with at all. Like, I'm just like, no, you're going to have to cast the line out. You're going to have to do the fucking work, you know, because I ain't doing it for you. Not this time. But yeah, man, I'm just going to leave it to you to take us home because I got nothing else to say.
All right, guys. Well, this has been our thoughts on the. Oh, and by the way, you already said that you were pretty much in the same spot. You're 3.5, 3 maybe.
But yeah, I'm a 3 out of 10. Fuck this show.
I'm gonna give it a confident 7 and hope that they at least make one good decision on this show. But if they don't, then it'll get a skip it. So I'll find a way to make them pay for their shitty decisions. Now, though, we hope that you guys enjoyed our preview and predictions here. We want to know what you guys think. Let us know down in the comments what you're predicting. We want to know all the matches that are listed in the description. You can see what you think's going to happen. See, less your order of your Elimination Chamber entrances and eliminations, kind of like what I did and what John did. I appreciate it when you guys participate. It's always a lot of fun to hear your thoughts too. Remember to like the video if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel also if you haven't already. And once you do, remember to click the bell icon so that you can get notified every time we go live or upload a video. And you can also like our Facebook and follow us both on Twitter. And if you're interested in supporting TwitWow, you can do so by either buying our merch on Teespring or donating to our Patreon. If you want to donate $3 a month, that'll get you exclusive access to the official TwitWow patron Discord, and it'll accumulate over time, allowing you to eventually save up and purchase live reactions or a live reaction and review request on a wrestling show of your choosing. And that also contributes to the community goal that will allow us to continue live reacting to Progress every Tuesday. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to the Elimination Chamber more than John, and at least as much as I am. And we will see you all on Sunday for our live reactions to the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. And hopefully it's not horrible. But until then, remember to stay tuned.